My bass is definitely my weapon. I'm able to look at an audience, do things to my amps and my basses, and see what it does to the people that are directly in front of it, and see if their eyes don't light up when I step on a distortion box. I love bass for how it makes me feel and what it does to me physically, and music has always been my vehicle for protest or for an opinion or for whatever it is, and so this is my ticket. I've been given the opportunity to make music, and I feel the obligation to make sure that that music has something to say, you know? That's what makes it great, and that's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it art. I want to destroy people with my instrument, and in a good way. So, like, yeah, it's my tool, but it's not as much as it is just like a weapon of low end. Was real sick when I was a kid. She had cancer, and I learned how to play bass to get away from my mom's illness, you know, and so it was an escape for me, a way to forget about what's happening. You're thinking about music, you're not thinking about anything else. It was in Orange County in Irvine, and it was near the University of Irvine, UCI. And Zach lived in the apartment complex there at UCI, and I lived in the neighborhood that was right next to it. And Zach De La Rocha knew how to play guitar, and he was really good when we were kids, and no one knew how to play guitar. He showed me how to play bass on an acoustic guitar, and I remember him like pressing my fingers down on the frets. He's like, you gotta push really hard on the frets, you know, and it like kind of hurt my hand, and I started playing like on just a regular nylon string acoustic guitar, like learning how to play Never Mind the Bollocks. By the time I was in like 11th or 12th grade, so a couple years after I started playing, I fell in love with Rush, and I became like a total like Geddy Lee freak. I did a little bit of gigging, just tiny shows here and there, but nothing more for me. Like I tell people, I'm like, I went straight from like learning Rush songs to playing on the big stage. Being able to be in a band it's a blessing, and it doesn't matter whether you're playing in a club or playing in front of a bunch of people. It's a blessing if you're able to connect with people and make music and you're all excited about it. The only thing that I have in that situation of being really insecure when we first started was actually my Music Man StingRay. That was the instrument that I grew up with, and that's what I had, and that's what I was using, and that grounded me. I was confident from day one, from the first time that we brought home some demo tapes from our first rehearsal before we even had vocals on our music and we were just playing the riffs. I knew and I was confident that we were going to be good. Guys back in the day, like Louis Johnson, you know, the Music Man guy. And he was like one of the first guys, like when I was a kid, I was playing slap music, and I tried to play slap bass, and he had an instructional video that I watched. And that's what inspired me to get a Music Man, believe it or not. You know, that was like his instructional video when I was in like 9th grade in high school. He showed how to do his shit, and I learned how to do it. And in doing that, I also learned that I really liked the fucking blonde Music Man, StingRay, you know, one pickup, black pickguard, that's what he had. You can feel the bass guitar, you can feel the low end, you can't necessarily feel high end. It's not something that you feel in your body, you know, and I step on the distortion box and things change. There's more to it than notes, you know. It kept me out of trouble, and it like gave me a creative outlet for sure. Definitely thankful for the bass. I never had the tennis racket on the bed. I never did any of that. I never practiced any rock moves. I never cared to do that. I never appreciated the Pete Townsend, the windmill, or any of that, even though I appreciated his playing. I didn't appreciate the bloody hands and stuff. That wasn't what I wanted to do. But yeah, it just sort of happens, you know? Like, I do now appreciate people who are able to feel music while they're playing it. There's a pulse that you can play as an instrumentalist, whether it's drums, bass, guitar, or anything for that matter. But when you're playing a 16th note, it's like, how fast can you go and keep it pulsating, you know? And then that pulse becomes something that you feel even when you're not doing it, you know, and it becomes a part of you. And now I feel that pulse, and it's like this unobtainable place that I've always wanted to get to, and I'm there, and it feels so good, and I hear it in music, and you can tell when someone's on the pulse and they're not. And when you're in a band, you kind of want to hook up with people that feel it in the same way, or can feel it the way that you feel it, you know, and I'm looking at music and at the bass guitar in a different way than I ever have before, and sometimes the riffs are now made up of the spaces in between the riffs. Some people understand, others don't, but you play the bass, but in a lot of ways, your combination, your choices, the bass plays you, you know? Like, the bass will do a certain thing with a certain amp and work a certain way, and you have to sort of work around that. So, like, I play the bass plays me, we have a great relationship. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't want to know. Like, and I don't know what kind of music I want to make. I don't want to know, you know? I'm happy to just, like, go day by day and focus on what I want to focus on, which is being competent and being aware of the possibilities of my instrument and the tones, you know, but like musically, I don't know how I want this music to affect the world. I don't know how I want my playing to affect anyone. I just know that what I'm doing is not going anywhere. It's going to be here long after I'm gone. And I want it to be great. Do 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 do.